Greetings everyone. Today our topic is related to IELTS essay discuss both views. So this essay is one of the important type of the essay because most of the time candidates will be getting this sort of the essay in their IELTS writing exams task 2. So discuss both view means that you will be provided with one topic or one question where you need to select one option for your opinion. Like you will be provided with the two choices that half of the society assume this thing, or they promote this thing, or maybe they like this thing. And what is your opinion? Do you like this point of view or the second point of view? And if you are holding this point of view, or if you are holding this approach, then what is the reason of holding this approach? If you before initiating with the next slide, if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, subscribe it, and then you will be getting updates related to next type of the essays as well in detail. So discuss both view model essay. It runs between the two choices and you need to select one choice. For instance or example, if children co-education is good, or according to you, or the sole education is good, so you need to write this type of the essay in 4 or to 5 different paragraphs. First you need to mention the introduction, then you should mention the opponent narrative, and then my opinion, and my opinion 1, my opinion 2, or you can say viewpoint 1, viewpoint 2. That you should mention your point of view, that if you're holding this opinion, then explain that opinion and provide with an example that why you are having this point of view or opinion as well. So the last paragraph would be related to the conclusion. In the previous lesson I have mentioned this thing in detail, that if you are writing your introductory paragraph, then what things you should mention in your introductory paragraph, or how to write your introductory paragraph. Because in all the other types of the essays, you know that the first paragraph is always introduction, then we have the body paragraph which is of 3 to 4 paragraphs, and the last one is the conclusion or a sort of a summary in one of the essays of IELTS. So we will be discussing each type of the essay in detail. Over here you will be given with the sort of the question that artists need a certain amount of freedom to develop their creativity. Some people think that artists should have total freedom to express any thoughts and ideas. So whenever you are reading this point or this phrase that some people think, it means some people think, or half of the society think like this. And what is your opinion, and what do you think? So, do you think that artists should be provided with the total freedom to express their creativity, and or they need a certain amount of the freedom? What is your opinion? Which opinion you are supporting? So, related to that, you should write your whole essay. So moving with the first paragraph of our essay, liberty is the one of the fundamental right of the mankind. So instead of freedom, we are using the word liberty, because as I have mentioned it earlier, that you should use a good vocabulary. You should not repeat your vocabulary. You should not, you can say, repeat your sentences, because it will create monotony. And beside creation of the monotony, you can say that your marks will be deducted for it, because if there'll be a good coherence, good cohesion, grammatical range, vocabulary, each and everything would be perfect, so you'll be provided with good bands in IELTS writing skills. So liberty is one of the fundamental right of the mankind, which evokes in them self-identification, self-belief, and confidence. Over here, you are saying that why liberty is the fundamental, you can say, right of the mankind, because it evokes, it creates in them. Instead of the creation, you can say evoke in them the self-identification, the 3 points: self-identification, self-belief, and confidence. So they'll start believing in themselves if they are having the liberty or the freedom in any task. A sizable fraction of the community believes. Over here you are supposed to paraphrase the question which you are provided in the IELTS exam paper, that a sizable fraction of the community, it means that the half of the community thinks or believes that the people who are intertwined with the creation of the artwork, who are linked with the creation of the artwork, should be allowed to portray their notions without an imposition. Imposition is the restriction. On contrary, now you are providing the other point of view, that on contrary, on opposite, there are the people who negate this point of view, who rejects this point of view, who cancel this point of view. So instead of cancel, you are using the negate, or instead of rejecting, you are using the word negate, which is a good vocabulary. So I keenly affirm the proposition. It's a thought. Instead of the thought, you are saying, instead of the notion, you are using the word proposition, that I keenly affirm the proposition that artists must be provided all independence without any confinement, without any restriction on exhibiting their ideal work. So over here in this sentence, you are provided where you are providing them with your opinion or point of view. First, you have mentioned, you have defined what liberty or what freedom is. Then in the second sentence, you paraphrase the question that half of the society think like this, another half think like this. Now you are presenting with your opinion or point of view that I keenly affirm the proposition that artists must be provided with all independence without any confinement on exhibiting their ideal work. Now you are saying in the next last sentence of the introductory paragraph that this essay will elaborate, it will explain that liberty of artists is associated, its link with the promotion of literature, enhancement of revenue generation, and portrayal of social evils in society. So if you're holding this approach or notion, you should mention the reason that why you are having this opinion. You are telling that my essay will explain these 3 points, that if I am having this sort of the opinion, why I'm having this sort of the opinion, because our work of artist is associated with the promotion of literature. They will promote your literature, they will enhance the revenue and the money or the income of you can say, and the portrait of the societal or societal social evils or societal evils in the society with the prevailing any crime or whatever it is, they can portray this thing, they can you can say demonstrate this thing in the artwork in the form of the calligraphy, in the form of the paintings or anything. So in the next paragraph you can see the most exuberant. Before moving to the next paragraph, I wanted to tell you that you can see the indentation or the space before initiating your second paragraph, which is important in the IELTS writing. You should leave a bit 1 inch, you can say, distance, then you should start the second paragraph. So this indentation is important. So the most in the second paragraph, you can see that the first sentence they will explain the point. They mention the point. Then in the second sentence they will explain the point, and in the third sentence they will be providing an example. So the most exuberant feature of giving liberty to artists is manifestation of true essence, beauty of the culture, which is not possible with imposed restriction. So this is your point of view, as we have discussed it in the last sentence of the introductory paragraph, that they can promote the literature. So now you are telling that if you they will be restricted, they will not, it's not possible for them to manifest the true essence or beauty of your culture uh, if they will be imposed with the restriction. So artist depicts the history of the decades old civilization by reviving them with their skills in the form of the painting or calligraphy, etc. So in this sentence, you're explaining your point, right? So for instance, or for example, Lahore Museum is embellished with 1,000 years old Mughal art and architecture, which is the marvelous task accomplished by the artist. So first you mention your point, then you explain your point, and then you're provided with the example. So this is the whole format, and I have mentioned the whole format in one of the previous lessons. You can go and you can check that lesson in my playlist as well. So that is related to the format or types of the essays, where the formats have also been discussed. So another efficacy of liberty over subjugation of the artist is the amount of the money generated through exhibitions of arts in diverse platforms, both nationally and internationally. So to avoid the monotony, you should avoid the use, you can say, repetition of the words. Instead of, you can say, subjugation, you can restriction. These are the different vocabulary words where you can use in your writing essay, and you can make it more refined and appealing for the reader. So avoid sentence repetition of the sentences, because if you will repeat the same idea again and again, so this thing is, you can say, you will it will deduct your marks and you will get less bands instead of getting good bands. So another efficacy of liberty or subjugation of the art is the amount of the money generated through exhibition of art in diverse platforms, both nationally and internationally. You are mentioning the point that why you are holding this opinion, because it's a sort of the money generation, and you can present your work in both nationally or internationally. In both ways, you can earn money. So promotion of artists is directly linked with the beauty of art which they create through the purchase tags. Over here you have explained your point, the previous point which you have mentioned. And numerous expensive decoration ornament pieces are available around the world's museum, which illustrates depicts the importance of the artwork, and they are the monumental masterpieces of the artist. So this is the, you can say, example which you have provided in the last of the paragraph. Mention your point, explain your point, and provide one example. So this example can be personal opinion, you can say from your personal life, or any sort of the example. It can be general and it can be subjective or objective, both is acceptable. So you can say, this is the second last paragraph and the third point, which you are explaining about the societal, you can say, crimes or evils of the society, along with the civilization revival and monetary benefits, which you have discussed in the previous two paragraphs. You're telling that this freedom of artists is also advantageous in terms of highlighting social issues. This is important that the creation of artwork portray the evils which surmounts disturbance in the society. A good word, surmount, which you're using over here, and which are threatening instead of the fear. You are using the word threatening for the serenity of the country. So rape cases were the rampant in any country you can mention, and to culminate this crime, numerous artists participated in strike, and they portrayed the sketches of the victims in order to get severe punishment for the culprits. Whoever is responsible for that task, you can call it the culprit. And you are using a good vocabulary. First you have mentioned your point, then explained your point, and now you have provided the example that the rape cases were rampant or anything you can mention in this the second last paragraph. So coming toward the conclusion, that in conclusion you are telling that the artist can revive the old civilization, promote means of income. See, you are using different phrases over here, and eradicate the evils of the society by revealing the purpose and intensity of the incident. So all such dynamics assert the surpassing effectiveness and benedictions of the freedom for artists. So you have used very good vocabulary, surpassing, effectiveness, benedictions. So all these things will create good, you can say, points in your writing skills. So this was it related to all the artists and the freedom, and your essay is completed till this paragraph, and this was the conclusion paragraph. Only in one type of the essay we will write the summary instead of the conclusion, which I'll be mentioning in my next lesson. Now we have model essay for discuss both views, another essay which I wanted to discuss with you. So some people believe academic success depends mostly on having a good teacher. Others argue that it is the attitude of the student that matters most. So discuss both views and give your opinion. Most of the time you'll be getting this sort of the point as well, that discuss both views and give your opinion. First you need to discuss both views, the pros and cons of the both views, and give your opinion as well. Moving with the introductory paragraph, so this indentation is not needed because in the first paragraph indentation is not needed, so you can skip the first paragraph indentation. So people usually have a segmented narrative regarding the key factor that propels a student towards academic excellence. So this thing is, you can say, you are providing with the background information that you can say, you either you can provide background information, or you can explain or paraphrase the question. A certain faction believes that educationalist contribution is undeniable in a student's career. Meanwhile, others contend that the registrant's own inclinations and commitment regarding academic responsibilities are also indispensable. So instead of the student, you are using in educationalist. You are using, instead of participation, you are using contribution. So these are the words which you should use in your writing skills in order to make it or put it in a good, you can say, vocabulary, or good choice of the words or vocabulary. So this essay will delineate both perspectives and will maintain that the student's dedication and hard work is the most prevalent factor in the attainment of educational accomplishments. So in this first paragraph, first you have mentioned that there are the two segments of the society, and you have mentioned what are their beliefs, and you have mentioned in the introductory paragraph that what this essay will depict and what it will demonstrate. So first you will explain both point of view, and your point of view is that if the student dedication is there, student hard work is there, so they can attain any sort of the educational achievement or accomplishment. So instead of achievement, you are using a good word, accomplishment. So in the next paragraph, you can see that the aspects of the teacher's partaking is supported by the faction that is predominantly influenced by the conventional teaching mechanism. So those people who think that the teacher's role is or partaking is supported, or the half of the society if they are supporting, so they have a sort of the thinking, they have a conventional teaching mechanism, or you can say thought or ideology. Advocates of this ideology, the supporters, instead of the supporters you're using the word advocates of this ideology, affirm they believe that educationalists are pragmatically equipped with myriads of expertise such as innovative tactics, motivational skills, and practical teaching methodologies, and therefore their contribution becomes an essential factor for pupils' academic excellence. So, if they have good expertise, if they are equipped with the numerous or diverse expertise, innovative tactics, if they are aware of it, so that is directly linked with the achievement or accomplishment of the students. For instance, many students feel helpless in complicated subjects including chemistry, accounting, or calculus. In such cases, teachers play an effective role to uplift their withering morale and lead them to the path of triumph. So over here you are providing with an example. As I have mentioned it earlier, mention your point, explain your point, and again then in the last sentence you can mention the example. So the second last paragraph, self-sustenance on the other side is purely a modern and liberal stance. So this self-sustenance means that students should study themselves instead of being dependent on the teachers entirely. It emphasizes the sheer effectiveness of the hard work, resilience, and determination of the students. So in this way, you can use two, three phrases which will support your point of view, that what it emphasizes the complete effectiveness of the hard work, resilience, your determination, the persistence. So verily academic life is laden with struggles, and the dream of an utter accomplishment may not come true if students just depend on the teachers instead of putting their own endeavors. If they will put it aside, if they will not do the hard work, so what will happen? Obviously they will not or they will not accomplish the trying for the success or the goal, whatever they have in their mind. So diverse domains, strict marking, concepts, and conceptual studies have significantly enlightened the importance of the learner's personal involvement, and numerous success stories have already attested the belief as well. So over here you are saying that there are the diverse domains. If there are strict marking criteria, so they will struggle a lot, they will try to achieve more in their life, they will try to do more hard work to illustrate. So this is the example in this point which you are providing. To illustrate, many gold medalists of universities have mentioned in their interviews and victory speeches that nothing is possible without hard work and relentless commitments. So over here H is missing, which is a typo error, you can correct it. So in the last paragraph, in a nutshell, you're providing this is the conclusion paragraph. In a nutshell, although both narratives are viable and valid, you're providing that all the point of view, both ideologies are viable and valid. I believe a student's attitude towards academics is highly critical from a successful career perspective. Therefore, the efficacy of students' involvement in studies surpasses the notion of the teacher's role in this regard. And before providing your own opinion, you have first provided that both opinions are correct and right. But do you think that the efficacy of the student involvement in studies, it surpasses the notion of teacher's role in this regard, that if the student's hard work is there, so the teacher's role in this regard it will surpass this notion that the teacher's role is entirely there for the success of the student. If the hard work is not there, it is not possible. So another model essay for discussing both views. So in this model essay, some people believe that teaching children at home is best for child's development, while others think that it is important for children to go to school. Discuss both views. So half of the society think that children should stay at home. It's best for them to study at home, while the other thinks that they should go to school and they should get their education there. So discuss both views. Over here in the first paragraph, you should mention the both, you can say, notions or ideology that people usually have segmented narrative regarding an appropriate and factual schooling strategy for the children. A certain faction believes that training and mentoring of youngsters at home, it yields extraordinary benefits. Meanwhile, on contrary, or you can mention that as well. Others contend that conventional schooling has unmatchable and incompatible pros in the long run and is imperative in establishing a child's personality. So these are the two point of view. First, you have mentioned or you have paraphrased the question, then for the background information was there, people have this sort of the narrative, then you have paraphrased the question, and then you are telling that this essay will discuss both perspectives and elaborates it is mandatory and preferable to enroll the children in proper academic institutions. You are supporting the ideology that it is mandatory and it is preferable for the students to enroll instead of writing or mentioning this thing to go to school or this and that. It's very good to mention such sort of the words or phrases to enroll these children in proper academic institutions. So this was all related to introductory paragraph, background information, paraphrase it, and then you are mentioning that what you will disclose or demonstrate or illustrate in your essay. So in the second paragraph, the notion of domestic schooling as the favored substitute is backed by a social stratum who utterly believes in individual supervision and convivial teaching approach. So why domestic schooling? Instead of teaching at home, you are using the word domestic schooling to explicate it further, to explain it further. Instead of writing to explain, you are writing to explicate it further. It is observed that during home coaching, parents are extremely cautious, focused, and eager to ensure the maximum extraction of the younger's academic potencies. So you are explaining the point that if this society believe this thing, so you are explaining why they do, why they have this sort of the opinion, because they think that student is more focused and they're eager to ensure the maximum extraction of the child's, you can say, academic potencies, and the parental way of delivering knowledge is laden with a certain sense of sympathy, care, and affection that in turn elevate students' morale and assist them in progressing at remarkable pace. So that is, you can say, the competencies, the sympathies there while schooling at home, or you can say the domestic schooling. Domestic learning supervision, for instance, this is the example which you are providing, that domestic learning supervision, for instance, can help parents to understand psychological issues and inclinations of their children in a particular and elaborative manner that is otherwise not possible in crowded conventional classrooms. So over here you have provided the, you can say, pros of all the domestic schooling. You have mentioned the point that what domestic schooling is, and then you have explained that, and then in the next sentence you have explained why the parents they are focusing on the domestic schooling, and then why it is good for them, and if they think that this ideology is good, so why do they have this approach, and why it's good for them, it's why positive and beneficial for them. So in the third paragraph, teaching with the proper educational premises, which is your point of view, that teaching with proper educational premises by qualified teachers, on the other hand, also carries undeniable advantages. Teachers are professionals and have thorough experience and expertise in the area of transferring knowledge and learning. So first you have mentioned the point, then you have explained it, that teachers are the professionals who better know or understands. They are the experienced people. They know how to transfer the knowledge, and they know how to, you can say, promote the learning process, and along with instructors, instead of the teachers, this time you're using the word instructors, along with instructors, constant supervision and guidance. So this is something constant, because if they are spending a lot of time at school, so there's a constant supervision by the different teachers, and the guidance of the teachers are available for them. Students explore the benedictions of learning with the peers that substantiate their social interaction skills and are indispensable for the future life. So over here you are telling that if they are going to school, it will increase or enhance the interaction skills of the students or the child. So conventional schooling also develops a sense of punctuality. These are the positive parts or the examples which you're providing, that conventional schooling also develops a sense of punctuality, organization, and teamwork among the younglings. Instead of the youngsters, you're using the word younglings, or instead of using the word children, in order to avoid the monotony. To conclude, again, it's the conclusion paragraph. Although both stances have their own viability and merits, both notions, you are not, you can say, blaming another point of view, because that is rude. So that's why you are being a bit neutral in the conclusion paragraph, that both instances have their own viability and merits. I believe that opting for proper traditional schooling is more preferable for younglings because of augmented socio-cultural exposure and professional mentor supervision. So again, over here you're providing with your own opinion, that if you're having this point of view, so why you're having this point of view, because culture exposure is there, professional mentor supervision is there, and therefore the parental mode of domestic education seems ineffective from children's academics grooming perspective. That you have mentioned the opponent's point of view. First, it was introductory paragraph, opinion, opponent's point of view, and your point of view. So point of view one, point of view two. Point of view one is always your opponent point of view. Point of view two is your point of view. And the last one is the conclusion paragraph. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel for further updates related to IELTS, English grammar, and English language lessons. Thank you.